Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Diablo 3. Last time we got ourselves all the way to Act 2, which took surprisingly less time than I was expecting. And I salvaged some of the junk that I had sitting in my inventory. Now that we've hit level 15, we can use some new gear, and this is the first level that generic gear, meaning, magical gear and rare gear and all that jazz, can have sockets in it. And what sockets do is allows you to socket some of these gems in there. And what these gems are, and unlike Diablo 2, they actually don't have a level requirement. Diablo 2, they had a level requirement, so you can only use the weaker ones earlier on. Now, they don't have any such limitations. So if you've played the game a lot and you have some higher level gems, such as the only gems you could find around here would be chipped, which would give, I think, about 4 or 8 strength in random pieces. If you notice there under the gem there, we have weapons. It gives a certain amount of damage. In helmets, it gives bonus to experience. And in anything else, it gives, boots, pants, bracers, gloves, armor, and rings and amulets. I think those are the only things that can take them. Oh yeah, and your shields and other offhand gear. They'll gain strength bonuses. That's only with the rubies. With the amethysts, I would never put it in a weapon, even at high levels. As you can see, it's not, if you've played the game, you'll understand the values. It's not high enough to be worthwhile. One thing I do like to use them for, these amethysts, is putting them in helmets for increased life, but that only really helps you late game, not early game. And we're still early game, by the way. Pretty much all of this Let's Play will be a early game, because late game is really considered to be level 60 and beyond, and in the upcoming expansion, and maybe even before that, who knows, we're going to be getting upgraded to level 70. And
I have some important deals happening.
Would you shut up, scoundrel? I'm trying to explain things.
Come back later.
And we also have topazes, which give some magic find if you're interested in that, and intelligence, and flawless emeralds, which do dexterity, gold find, which works the same way as magic find does, and it just increases the amount of gold, not the likelihood of getting gold. At least I think that's how it works. Either way. But it also does critical hit damage in weapons, which is quite useful later in the game. See, like I was saying, in Diablo 2, you couldn't use any of these higher level ones. You'll find these around the time you hit level 50 to 55. And definitely, this is the highest level that you can find. And then you can combine them to get higher and higher levels, and I'll explain that in due time. Suffice to say, at this point, we don't have a lot of life. So let's take one of these, put it in the new armor I'm about to equip, and I'll get 770 life by equipping this. That's a lot more life than I had before. I can also equip a new weapon. Now, Scrimshaw is an interesting weapon because it has attack speed, although it is quite slow, as you can see, 1.24 attacks per second versus 1.53 on the weapon I have now. However, it has 9% movement, and it has a socket. You can find this particular one has strength, but you can find these with intelligence and dexterity as well. Maybe even vitality, I'm not too sure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these. As you can see, the ones you can find only give me 25 to minimum and maximum damage, but the most advanced ones that I have give me 130, which will raise our damage from 25.6 to 203. Equip that on there. That ups our damage from 458 all the way up to 1100, which is substantially better. Now I'm just going to put that back in the stash. I don't need to use that anymore. Do a little bit of mini organization. Now we attack a little slower, but we move faster, which is a good enough, what's the word I'm looking for?
Here we are.
Sacrifice.
Caldeum, Jewel of the East. Uncle Deckard loved this place.
He wouldn't now that it is under the spell of Belial, Lord of Lies. I can smell his stench from here.
We need to split up. You two search for Belial, while I hunt that witch Magda. Kane's death will not go unanswered.
Okay. Now, our basic quest at this point is to take out Magda, and it's nice how you can kind of see the part of the village that we'll never get to go to down there. Actually, we do get to go to that. Never mind. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be that far down from where we are here. Kala is an interesting character.
I have never been outside the city my entire life. I have never even been outside the palace. When they threw us out here, I thought I would die. I was terrified. But now, look at this view. I have never understood how large the world actually was. It is beautiful.
She doesn't have any bearing on the plot, and what she says is not particularly interesting, but it's just kind of odd the times that you can walk up to her and there'll be a new line of dialogue in white as opposed to grayed out. There's some merchants over here, as well as this guy, which he was in Act 1, but I ignored him.
As the
He's a healer.
watches over his flock.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Most of my items.
And we can
almost
buy
no
some junk
blood
here,
left
but
on them.
we don't really need them. Oh, we can buy an amulet. That one's got attack speed and intelligence. I'll buy that, why not? Normally I don't buy stuff from shops because they're not usually very good. Now, Erdrig, or Amon Hedrig has followed us here, so we can still talk to him, get some more background on his story, and he's got a very interesting past if you want to delve into it. Like I said before this Let's Play, it'd take me way too long to go and grab all these things. Like, I have spent absolutely forever working on achievements, and like I kind of showed you a little bit before, there are a lot of these, and I have a lot of time on this game, more than I'd like to admit. But yeah, it's not really worth it going out and finding them all again for me. For you, it might be different. Who knows? You know, it'll be up to the individual to kind of chase it out. With this, I just want to kind of introduce the game to someone who hasn't played it before. Now, over here, and this guy was in Act 1 as well, talking to this guy and enter the training grounds just enters you into the PvP area of the game, which was, I guess, rushed out the door after the game was already launched and just sucked balls. It is absolutely abysmal. It's just one area. It doesn't change. There's nothing random involved. You can't really hide. It's a very small area about the size of this town, and it's really boring. Now here we have Leia's belongings, and
Caldeum.
we have her journals will appear over here. Now you almost have no reason to go beyond this point, this where the mouse is there, at any point in the story. So I didn't actually know this was here until only recently. I wasn't too interested in searching it out until a few months ago. I kind of got interested in trying to get some achievements to find some more interesting things to do in this game because I was kind of getting bored with it. Here's a
Guard,
treat.
Where did these refugees come from?
I am not a guard. I am a Shearer, commander of the Iron Wolves. We saved these refugees from Magda's coven, that even now wreaks havoc throughout the borderlands.
It seems fate has brought us together. I hunt Magda. Do you know where she is?
She's heading toward Alcarnus, but has blocked the road behind her. However, there is another way, through the Kasim outpost.
The reason why this is a treat is because Ashira was... Now, where was she? She was in Diablo 2. I believe she was the leader of a mercenary group in Act 3 in Kuras, but I'm not 100% sure.
Emperor Hakan threw his entire court out of the city. They're trapped out here with the rest of us.
There is some justice in this world after all.
Justice? They're a load of pompous fools. But even they don't deserve what's coming tonight.
What happens tonight?
They're wearing jewels worth more than any of us see in a year. And they have to sleep sometime.
Yeah, basically, this town has gone to crap since this new emperor took over. And we'll meet him eventually. Right around here, there'll be a book at some point in the quest, and I'll try and remember to point it out, but if I don't, that's where it is at least. And we can talk to Leah over here.
Tyrael and I learned that while the Iron Wolves were fighting Magda in the desert, the Emperor replaced them with Imperial guards who bar all from the inner city.
I suspect that the Iron Wolves were sent out to die. Belial has made his move. We must find a way into the city.
As a child, I explored Caldeum while Uncle Deckard studied here. I can get in through the sewers.
Good. Learn what you can while I head to Alcarnus to take care of Magda.
Be careful. Alcarnus sounds like Magda's trap.
Everything Magda has done in this game is basically trying to trap me.
The
Anyway,
inner city is closed by order of His Eminence, Emperor Hakan II. For now, you must all remain here.
Let us in! We are dying of hunger and thirst. Can't you smell the stench of death?
The Emperor has forsaken us.
Back, or we will force you back.
Your Imperial Guard would let us die here. At least the Iron Wolves try to aid us.
Mention them again, and I will leave your corpse for them to find.
We need to be within the safety of the city walls.
okay. I know I'm going through more of this stuff than I normally do, but it's actually
Deny us entry into the city.
kind of important in this case because it paints a picture of what's going on in this place. You can talk to this character too, but she's not particularly interesting. You head in here, we're in the inn, and there will be a tome over here.
Most
Again, you don't have to. I think that's the only one. I don't think there's anything else in here. There's a couple of people you can talk to. None of them say anything particularly interesting. There's merchants around here.
You will need to follow the long road over the canyon bridge and through the Kasim outpost. We haven't heard anything from the Iron Wolves in the desert. If you make it to the Kasim outpost, seek out Captain David.
No. Well, that's interesting. At least we have an idea of what to do now.
Something tells me this will be an interesting journey.
It's already been an interesting journey. Where have you been? Oh yeah, I left you in town for too long.
Take heed, traveler. Cultists guard these desert roads, and they will slay any who pass.
They are welcome to try. I have come here to kill them, and their leader.
Then you must not go alone. I shall accompany you.
Well now, it's my lucky day.
Ah, the scoundrel is awesome.
Mirages to some, but I can see them for what they are. The Coven's foul magic. They will lead you to your death.
I've dealt with these cultists before. Their traps are easily spotted, but my thanks for the warning.
Now, here we're introduced to probably one of the most annoying enemies in the game, and that's these guys. Wait, where'd they go? This one. Ah, come back here. Die. The ones jumping out of the ground, not a lot to deal with, but those poison, whatever they are, the poison bees that those, whatever they are, the wasps, sand wasps, what they shoot out, they actually do a lot of damage, and if you have poor resistances and you get hit by a lot of them, you, like, look what just happened to my stupid hire. He got himself killed. They do a lot of damage. They can take you out on the hardest difficulty, you know, in probably a couple shots. They usually shoot out about 4 at a time, and if they shoot out, you know, 4 and all 4 of them hit you, you can lose a substantial amount of life, especially if you don't have a lot of life to begin with.
Are you certain? The road seems impassable.
You should never have come. Demons will feast on your bones.
No, they won't. Death rains up from above and in front.
How did you know about the ambush?
I am an
She's a
enchantress.
spy.
The ways of magic and illusion are familiar to me. My name is Arena.
I'm no stranger to magic myself, and yours is pretty unusual. What are you really doing out here?
Well, I am also looking for someone. But here, let me clear the way for you.
Thanks. And
Captain, from behind!
like the other ones before, the Templar and the, oh, what is it? The
If not for
Scoundrel.
you, the Lacuni would have eaten well this day.
Should I expect more Lacuni on the road to Alcarnus?
Even worse. Cultists are casting spells in 2 of their desert lairs to obscure the Black Canyon Bridge.
Let us head north to the Howling Plateau. The cultist magic seems to be emanating from there.
Alright, like the Scoundrel and the Templar, she is also a hire later on, and she'll follow us around for free at this point, and we won't be able to do much with her. If you follow the road, you can take that path. However, it's faster if we take this path. There's a little area over here. There's usually some enemies sitting here waiting for you. but
Their
she'll
spells are weak and easily countered.
show you exactly where
If
to
we
go
follow
from here.
these prints, we
And
can
there is
find their lairs and
always,
halt the rituals.
always
I will seek
one.
out any other traces of their magic.
Yeah, you talk too much. Shut up. There's always 2 of these little areas here, and the first one will always be on the left. The second one will always be on the right. It just depends on how high up the path the area is located, the entrance. So in this case, if you go up the left side, it'll either be here or down in this area.
This is one of the cultist lairs.
He's invincible for a second until he does his first swing. Oddly enough, I don't know why. I don't remember there's a couple of those guys, I think 3 of them in the other area, that they're not invincible at the start. I don't know why.
There should be another ritual at a cellar to the east of here.
Yeah, so we take out this one, and then what she'll do is the footprint she'll reveal now will direct us back to the start where we would have come into this area if we had come in the way I didn't. So there are, I think, 3 possible locations for the other one, and the first one that I can think of is... Come on, die already. I'm getting weird slowdown issues. Or at least it feels like slowdown. I don't know. There's a few locations that they can be located at. The first one is way up here, so if it is this one, then that'll make this really quick.
I like your dress.
But I am not wearing a dress.
I know. That's what I like.
God damn it, scoundrel. Yeah, here's one of the locations. The reason why it's important to be fast to this is, 1, you're going to be doing it a bunch of times, and 2, oh, we found it already. Very nice. Now let's slaughter some of these guys. And here it is. It can also be very close to this area, even right down to where the exit is, or the entrance to this area, the one that I didn't take. If you're interested in that, let's just slaughter some of these guys. Slaughter some more of them.
That ought to dispel the Coven's magic. Let us go to the bridge.
Yeah, and now we can head to the bridge. That just saves time. Basically, the other areas, there's one over here, and there's one over here.
Are plotting an invasion. I will cause them to suffer greatly.
How curious. You must be the one I was meant to find here.
Yeah, we get a little bit of her backstory, and we'll be getting some more of it too. Let's, he's got 2 different abilities. That's an exploding arrow. That's multi-shot.
A great choice.
Since he's got a slow attack, I might as well have him the ability to slow multiple enemies at once. It's better than nothing. And his damage is negligible throughout pretty much the entire game, even late game. When you're doing, 200,000 damage, he's doing 20,000 damage.
I think it is time for you to know my true tale.
The reason you want to do that fast, by the way, those 2 sellers, if you interrupt the rituals, I think in 4 minutes of entering the act, then you get an achievement.
I am not from Caldeum. I learned these spells 1,500 years ago. My sisters and I pledged our service to a man of great power. We called him the Prophet. He trained us and placed us in a magical slumber to awaken in this era. I am to prevent the Lords of Hell from invading.
You're serious, aren't you? I read about a stasis spell like that once, but I've never tried it. Come with me. It would be nice to have another mage along.
Well, it actually, you know what? I think I will take you along. I just gave him an ability, but oh well. She has no abilities at this point, making her pretty kind of useless at this stage. But it's not particularly important. I don't think I have anything I can give her. No, I could give her that. That'll give you some more damage. Basically, the reason why I want to level her, you could level up anyone, really. It doesn't matter. F for follower. Her ability late game gives you and the Enchantress a 3% attack speed boost.
Now
what's
to
his
find
name?
the Cassim outpost.
You will find it to the north, though it is still some distance away.
It's not that far. Where was I at here? Killing this guy. Yeah, the Scoundrel's ability late game is adding critical hit chance, which is also quite useful. I prefer attack speed.
This is no illusion. The road is blocked. I must go through Kasim Outpost to the west.
We can't get through here, so we have to take the long way around, which involves always going left. This is not a random fact. There are probably parts of this map that are random. This one is not. The door to head through here is always in this direction. And here...
I'm just warming up!
There are usually some random areas that can spawn around here. Quite a few, actually, and if you feel like doing some grinding at this point in the game, you know, it wouldn't be, you know, unbeneficial. You'll gain a few levels, the enemies here get some decent experience. It's kind of a... The first time you play this game, this is definitely one of the areas that'll have a big... there's a shrine over there, let's go grab that. There's definitely a difficulty spike at this point. You know, on your first playthrough. On subsequent playthroughs, you'll have better gear to give yourself. And your stash, all the gear in your stash can be given and distributed to all your characters. They all have access to it. So, it's always good. It's not like you have to do transfer mechanisms like you used to in Diablo 2. Now, in this area, the exit is always to the far north. And I hit level 16, which gives me the ability to equip some new gear, which will be beneficial. Just kill some of these guys, get them out of the way. Do not get hit by all those. It wouldn't kill me because of my gear, but it definitely will do a lot of damage. See? They just hit me and I lost probably about 1/6 of my life. Here in Act 2, they're also going to get some background lore
It is
here.
with some reluctance that I write on the 7 Lords of Hell, for they are the greatest of the demons, and even whispering their names seems to poison the air around me. They are divided into the lesser evils, Belial, Asmodan, Juriel, and Andariel, and the prime evils, Mephisto, Baal, and Diablo.
There you go. There's some of the stuff that I explained before. If you notice, the Enchantress said that it was too quiet in here. Let's pick up this.
Captain of the Guard, you are hereby ordered to send a band of your most loyal men to secure the Kasim outpost. Control of the city hangs by a thread. The commoners are becoming restless, and it is imperative that we subdue them. Remain vigilant, for there may already be an outsider within our borders looking to stir up trouble.
That's just kind of interesting because it pertains to the plot around here. And again...
I need you to open the gate. I must reach Alcanis.
You must be mad. But if you're intent on rushing headlong to your death, talk to Captain David down in the command post. He's got the gate key.
Oh, well, that's nice. Let's go and talk to him.
Here you are, delivered unto me as a sacrifice. A gift from Lord Belial.
Wonder if these guys are doing something.
Me? Belial set you here as bait to lure me away from his treachery in Caldeum.
No! He would never betray me! Strike her down!
Belial is the Lord of Lies, Magda. The truth is, you were dead the minute you killed Cain.
Unlock the gates here.
Not a moment too soon. They plan to sacrifice us to Belial. Iron Wolves, take back the town!
They captured the Iron Wolves. That's pretty bad if you got captured by low-level, weak, whatever these things are. Even in a, you know, without extra gear, by the time you get to this point, these guys are no real challenge. Anyway.
Has Magda reached Alcanis?
Yes, we've heard rumors of a horrible slaughter there.
Then please, open the gate. It is well past time for Magda to die.
Very true. We're not going to get all the way there. In this part, this part's pretty close to over. And if you notice the map here, this is where the road was blocked off. So that's pretty much where we're heading around that area. We have some cultists that will always spawn around this area. And the exit from this map is always on the lower, I guess, lower right side. You can kill enemies along the way should you feel it's necessary. Again, it's not all that important. Here we have the ruins, which is a good area that will spawn in... This is technically the same map as this map, so it's the Stinging Winds. So it can spawn throughout here. There's also some other bonus dungeons that can spawn around here. And a lot of them are very good for grinding if you want to kill lots of enemies in there, because they usually contain a fair amount of enemies, as well as a fair amount of champion packs and special elite enemies.
Do you see that enemy over there? Let us cleanse it from this land.
Yeah, let's cleanse it by eviscerating it with lightning. Sounds about right. And the exit will always be down through this gate, and we reach the road to Alcanas. And the waypoint. And that's where I'm going to stop today, because I don't have time to go through the next sequence. Anyway, yeah, that's all for this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.